I was doing my international teaching certification while at the same time teaching full-time. The school needed me in primary, but I wanted secondary, so after discussions and negotiations, they put me in both, all subjects in primary, year 5, social emotional learning in middle school, and year 12 in high school. Now, if you don't know anything about school, know that middle school is the most challenging. And I had year 7, which was one of the most difficult and badly behaved classes in that school. On a Wednesday, last period 3 to 4 p.m., when every child has been in school for a full day, and the last thing they wanted was one more lesson. And I was teaching social emotional learning, which is actually a wonderful subject. We teach kindness, compassion, resilience, nervous system regulation, meditation, and so on. Subjects that, if you know them and practice them, will genuinely give you a greater well-being in life. But for year 7 middle schoolers, it is the most cringe subject imaginable. And because of that, the school decided to grade it just so they would have to put up with it. So every Wednesday I would walk in and they made it very clear they didn't want me or my lesson. The behaviors were really bad, and every single time after that class, I would spend the next half an hour to 1 hour writing emails to parents. It was that bad. I had days when I left cried. But I had good lessons too. A successful lesson depends on many factors. The kid's day so far, my day so far, the subject being taught, and many others. You never have 2 lessons the same. Sometimes you have great lessons. Sometimes you want to run and quit your job and never come back. That's why there is an international crisis for teachers around the world. Many teachers quit in the first 5 years. It is a very demanding job. Coming back to my story, because I was a new teacher in training, the principal would come unannounced into my classroom, and many times to that class specifically, the most challenging one, because he knew the dynamic was difficult and he wanted to see how I was managing. One Wednesday, it was one of those days where I wanted to run and hide. The kids had to present some finished projects. Now, if you don't know middle schoolers, know that those kids not only don't get along with their teachers, they barely get along with each other. So presenting projects trigger conflict between some of them, and suddenly the room descended into complete chaos. Complete chaos. And in that exact moment, the principal walked in. I wanted to hide under my desk. Now, in most schools, when the principal walks in, the kids suddenly straighten up. Not here. This was a very relaxed international school, and the principal was a very cool man, even younger than me. So the kids were not afraid of him. They didn't suddenly start behaving. They just continued the chaos. He went and sat at the back of the room, took out his iPad and observed and took notes. Observed me failing completely, unable to control the room, unable to reach them, unable to do anything until the very last minute of the lesson. When the kids finally left, he said, "Sit down. So tell me, Ruxandra, how do you think you did?" What could I say? I was completely embarrassed, failing miserably in front of him. So I said, "I did terribly." Now, if this happened in a corporate environment, you might fear for your job. But thank God, in good international schools, they don't fire you for failing miserably in one class. They want to teach you. Of course, not all teachers are teachable, unfortunately, but luckily, I was. So he supported me, gave me strategies to do better. And at the end of the year doing appraisals, he told me I had improved a lot and was very supportive and motivating. Now, the moral of this story is, throughout your life, you are going to fail, sometimes publicly, sometimes with people who matter watching. And although I hope it will never happen to you, if you try new things and put yourself in situations you haven't mastered yet, you will fail, because the process of learning involves failing. And if your confidence is very high because you succeed at everything, it actually means you are not learning anything new. Because if you were learning, you would be failing. When you were a baby, you learned to walk through failing. When you learned a new language, you spoke broken and grammatically incorrect before you spoke it well. Whatever you do, you fail first before you become a master. But the problem is, people think that when formal education ends, learning ends. It should not. Just because you are 30, 40, 50 doesn't mean you stop learning. Life is not over. Growth is life. Growth gives you confidence. Growth improves your self-esteem. If you are not growing, you are dying slowly. I'm not going to be a school teacher all my life. Actually, I'm thinking seriously, this was my last year. Although it is sad because I put so much effort into developing and becoming good at it, but the experience and the growth I had as a teacher is not lost and has developed me to do other things. For example, teaching helped me volunteer last year with an organization in learning and development where I was part of creating a curriculum and online courses in technology for older adults. This is just one example. I also became way more patient and tolerant. I learned how to like people even if they hurt me, because kids sometimes hurt you a lot and you can't hold grudges against them. You still have to like them so they can grow and learn. So this experience was not lost, even though I'm not going to do it all my life. Putting effort into learning will help you, maybe not directly, but indirectly. Life is too short to waste doing nothing. Try new things, go out there and fail, get up again, have success too, but grow, live, experience, see who you are, see what else you can do. Hi, I'm Alexandra. See you tomorrow.